Hello, you are tuned in with Erica the Design Diva. Welcome to WordPress Success, lesson number 1. This is your 6-week website creation course that's all virtual, all online. Now, just in case you don't know who I am, hopefully you do by now because I sent out the interest videos and talked about myself a little bit. So I'll go ahead and get me out of the way. I do have over 20 years creating websites and I love giving back. That's why I teach classes and teach other people the skills that I learned. That's why we're here. Now, first things first, just realize that everybody has different technical backgrounds. So the lessons are going to cover the basic steps. Now, I will have some supplemental training so you can learn additional things that you may not know, but I don't want to spend too much class time covering those things that maybe could be covered in a 5 to 10 minute or maybe even 15-minute video where you can just watch that separately of some additional stuff. And if you get stuck on anything, always contact me. My contact information is on everything and I put it everywhere. So I'll have it at the end of this lesson as well. So you can always contact me. Now, first things first, remember that you follow the lessons. Ask questions when you need to. Don't feel like any question is invalid or not, or it makes you sound like you're not smart or whatever. Guess what? I know that people are starting from, a lot of people are starting from not having a technical background, or you just don't know. This is something new to you, and just have an open mind. And I love this quote. I think I use this like in all of my lessons that I do. It always seems impossible until it's done. And there's a quote from Nelson Mandela, and he definitely was a person who did some things, made things possible that seemed impossible. Now, the way the lesson flow will work today and throughout all the lessons, I'm going to give you some information. So I'll just be talking to you and teaching you things. I'm going to give you some examples. And part of that is going to be the Watch Me Work sessions where I actually show you step by step the things that you will need to be doing. You will also have assignments. So all the tasks that I do during the lesson, you'll get a chance to go back and do those things for your own website. Again, if you have questions, email me. That's the best way to get in contact with me. I check my email like every day. Even when I'm on vacation, like I normally will check it maybe once a day. But I usually let people know when I'm going to be out. But I'm not planning on doing a vacation during our 6 weeks together. Now, for the lessons and assignments that you'll be watching the lessons and then doing the assignments, they'll all be on your course page. Okay, and I'll tell you a little bit about the course page after the lesson. Now, before we begin, make sure that you've already gotten your domain name and your hosting. Make sure you purchased it and set up your WordPress. So you're going to go ahead and connect them. When I say set them up, make sure you connect your domain and hosting. Then make sure you installed WordPress. And the third item here, if you haven't logged into your WordPress dashboard, it's okay. We're actually going to cover that in today's lesson. So not a big deal if you have not gotten to that. But if you have, that's going to be a plus for you because you know you can get in. You know what your password is. So I think the biggest thing is that people forget the password that they use when they set up and install their WordPress. Now, the fourth thing is just a little bonus. Make sure you connect with me on Facebook, okay? Design Diva Studios, you can look me up. So in this lesson, we're going to cover website creation, just a little bit about website creation and overall, which includes WordPress and any other type of website that you are creating, any other platform you're using. And then we're going to go into just a little bit about WordPress. We're going to talk about the dashboard, your settings, which is part of your WordPress dashboard or back end. We're going to talk about themes. Then we're going to just touch a little bit on responsiveness, which is also called mobile friendliness. And then we're going to do a Watch Me Work session. We're going to put all these things together as I show you how to do a coming soon page. Now, your first assignment task is going to be to set up a course folder. Now, you can set it up where you want to. If you want it on your hard drive, on your desktop, just remember where you put it. Okay, that's the biggest thing. And this is going to help everything stay organized. And this is so you can have everything all in one place. So the task that you will get, and it's going to be on your assignment, so you don't have to write this down unless you want to. You're going to add your logo and 5 to 6 royalty-free images to your course folder. Now, you're going to get those royalty-free images from websites that I have on the course agenda page. And again, I'll tell you about that at the end. So after you, if you don't have a logo, I also have some resources for you to use as well on that course agenda page. So you don't have to worry about it. Don't sweat it. So that's going to be your first task. So this is one thing that you want to do. Now, just a little intro to website creation. So if you see here on the left-hand side, your domain name or your web address, that's how people get to your website. So it's going to be your .com, .net, .org, .edu, whatever domain name you have chosen. And again, that's something you should have already done. If you have not done, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to go back and watch the how to get your domain name hosting if you don't have this stuff, because I do explain a little bit more what it is and how to get it. So on the right hand side, you see your web server or in your hosting provider. Now that's the house that keeps all of the pieces of your web home. So when people go to your web address, to get to your web home, there needs to be something there. Okay, you don't want to say this does not exist. Okay, now for as far as the internet goes, with websites, what happens is, remember I told you have your .com and your web or hosting provider server? Well, CNN, Facebook, Design Diva Studios, we all have our web server space, okay? So all of our hosts, where all of our content is kept, is on these servers. Well, what happens is when the user logs on and connects to the internet, and they go to the CNN website, they put that domain name in, it brings the information from the web server over to the user. That's how people are able to access your website, because your content is on a hosting provider and they use that address to get to that content. Okay, now creating your website just means you organize all that content at your web address. See, it's pretty simple, right? Hopefully. Now, outside of WordPress, there are so many different ways that you can create websites. There are website builders and tools and applications you can purchase and use. Now, before WordPress, I used to put everything in what's called HTML, and all those acronyms are just short. They're versions of programming languages. Now there are other ones as well. HTML this is very basic. We have PHP and CSS, and I included those three because WordPress, for the most part, is built with these three. You also have like some JavaScript and things like that as well, maybe a little bit of XML. But there were programming languages, and we would have to write. You can see these examples here. When you built a website way back in the day when I first started over 20 years ago, this is how I did it. I actually wrote the code. There was no nice WordPress program or application for me to just point and click. Now, I definitely 20 years ago, I don't think that I would have been trying to teach anybody who didn't have a technical background, especially in 6 weeks, how to create a website. Now, just a little introduction of WordPress. This is a visual overview. So there are 3 main components that comprise your WordPress website. There's your content, which we talked about a little bit already. That's your page, your text, your images, videos, anything that is part of your website. You have your theme. That's the way things look, the layout, colors, fonts, just how everything is all organized. And then there's the foundation, which is the software application. Now, of course, you cannot build a house without having the foundation. So the first part you do is the foundation, then you do the theme, and then you do the content. So you build it from the bottom up. I forgot I put those actions on there. Okay. Now, your next assignment task is going to be create a plan of action. I've created an activity called Plan for Your Brand. And what it's going to do is going to help you to get organized You're gonna figure out what your target audience wants and needs. You're going to come up with the pages and the types of content that you want on each page. Now, it does not have to be super in detail. You just want to have a really good overview. And you're going to have everything that you need, and you're going to put it in the course folder. So this is an assignment test that you can actually, it's a PDF, it's a PDF that you can download and actually keep in your course folder so that you can refer to it when you create your next website as well. So this is a really good tool. Even if you end up hiring somebody to create a website, this is a great activity to do, and then just give this information to them. That will help with your organization as well. Now, remember, we just talked a little bit about the foundation, theme, and content. Right now, we're going to focus on the foundation. I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about what WordPress is. WordPress, like I said, is a new world of opportunity, because before, like content management systems like WordPress, which I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but before applications like WordPress came about, people that created websites had to do a lot more programming by hand. Now, it is still beneficial, absolutely, to know those things, because guess what? WordPress gives you so much, and it gives you a lot. However, I can go in and I can change any code because I know how to program. So that's where the benefit comes in for that. So WordPress, like I said, is a content management system. So basically what happens is you create the framework. You install WordPress, you create the framework, and then you manage the content. Okay, you can add a new page. You don't have to recreate what the page looks like every time. You don't have to put your logo on every page again. Everything is already set once you set up those things. WordPress is open source, and it was released in 2003. Now, of course, it has come a long way, and there always are releases, and it's always being revamped, and new features are being added. But open source means that anybody can use it for free. As long as you have to get your hosting, but you can use WordPress for free. Not only that, open source means that you can actually go in and make modifications. So that's why when certain things, like I just said, I can go in and I can super customize any WordPress themes. I can go in and make it go beyond what you just see on the front end. I can go into the code and actually make adjustments to it. And that's still legal because it's open source. Now, WordPress is powerful and flexible. You can do anything with it. You start with a small website, and it's scalable. You can add more pages, add more events, add more pictures. And I don't know what the limit is. I would say is whatever your hosting provider, the limits your hosting provider sets. One key is that you own and control everything, because it's your own website. That's the difference between WordPress versus like some of the site builders that are out here, where of course the content is yours, but once you build the site, you can't export it. And for most of them, you can't export it to something else. You can, you're pretty locked in. But with WordPress, you do control everything. It's user friendly. That's one of the biggest things. That's why I can teach you this class today. It's easy to make updates once you learn how to do it and do it the right way. And we will be learning that in lessons to come. And again, I already said it's free. And then there's WordPress.com versus WordPress.org. The WordPress.com is actually similar to a site builder. It uses WordPress as the application. However, there are some restrictions on what you can do. If you purchase your own, and that's because they give you hosting, you can't upgrade and everything. That's another story. But with WordPress.org, which this is what we are using, it's not, and you actually don't go to a WordPress.org site and create your site. You purchase your domain and hosting, and then you install WordPress on your own in your hosting space. Okay, so WordPress.org is the one that gives you that flexibility and that full control. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to just go ahead and walk you through some of the steps of WordPress. The first thing you want to do is log in. So when you installed WordPress, you create a username and a password, and you use an email address. So this is where you log on to that. You're going to enter your username and password and just press log on. Once you get that info in correctly, make sure you have it correct. Oh, there's a forgot password link as well if you need that. And you'll get an email so you can reset it if you need to. So you get into the dashboard once you log in successfully. On the left-hand side, you're going to see basically your table of contents. So anytime you click on one of these items on the left, which is your content is going to show up on the right-hand side. So by default, dashboard is what comes up, okay? And so if you click on any of the other things on the left, like if you see it, post, media, pages come, if you click on any of those, it's going to show up on the content area on the right side. So that's just a basic overview of dashboard. As you create your website and you have different themes and install different plugins or additions to your website, you are going to see your dashboard is going to be different. It's going to change, okay? It's never going to look exactly like somebody else's unless you stole their website. So the next thing that I'm going to be showing you in the Watch Me Work session, portion of this session, is the WordPress settings. WordPress settings are really important because it houses your site title, tagline, even the site address. So when people type in your website address, it says this is where it's going to go. If you installed WordPress on a subdirectory, then this is where you would set that up and tell it, okay, this is where you go. Your administrator email address is also set here in your settings, and there are some other ones as well, but this is a place that you will be using. I'll also be showing you how to something called Permalinks, where it kind of structures the way that your web addresses look when the people click on different pages. So it's just a general overview, just to let you know that the settings are there. Now, everybody is going to have settings. The settings are consistent. The setting options are consistent for WordPress websites. So remember, we talked about how WordPress works. We already talked about the foundation. We learned a little bit about WordPress. So now the next thing is talking about the themes, which is your layout, colors, and fonts. So as far as for a theme, the basic thing you're going to do is you're going to search for a theme you like. I suggest searching for something like best free WordPress themes of 2019. I like to put the year in there because if you just say free WordPress themes, you might get a theme from 2013 that is no longer supported. So you can't do updates. You're not going to be able to really utilize it. It may not even be compatible with the newest version of WordPress. So I suggest putting in the year. Now, there are, I say free WordPress themes because there are so many out there, but you also can get premium or paid versions of themes. Some of them you'll give you a free, like a free version, like a light version where you get like 10 of the 20 features, and then you can upgrade if you really like it to a premium version or a paid version. And you can get a paid theme for like $19. You can get a theme for like $200. So either way, I always try to start with free, and we're going to be doing a free theme today in the Watch Me Work session. Big thing is to make sure it's mobile friendly. If you do the search and you put the year in like 2019 or whatever, or anytime pretty much after, probably like anything that's great after like probably like 2016, 2017, it's gonna be mobile friendly. So I still look for it, but just a little, you do want to make sure it's mobile friendly because mobile friendly discounts. After you find the theme that you want, and after you find the theme you want, you're gonna go ahead and install the theme and activate the theme. There is a way to preview it before you actually activate it, and I'll show you that in our session when you watch me work. And then after that, you just customize your theme settings. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, the hardest part probably of WordPress, of creating a WordPress site, is deciding what theme you want to use. When I'm so serious. Looking for a theme because you're gonna find like several you like, and then you're like, oh, I like this one. You're like, oh, but I like this one too. Be like, oh, but I like the way this one does that. Look, best thing is to make sure that you find one where the structure is what you want, because most of the other stuff you can customize, and I will be showing you some of that in later lessons of how to customize themes. Now, next topic is your coming soon page. Your coming soon page is what the world will see until you get your web home up and running. So just think, you don't want people to come to if you're getting a home built. You don't want people to come and see like construction all looking all crazy. You don't want to see things in shambles. You don't want people to see that. You want them to see something that is on the outside is tidy and neat, okay? So that they do want to come back once it's built. So with your coming soon page, listen, I always say, don't ever like Smokey and Friday, if hopefully you know this movie. Don't you ever put coming soon on a coming soon page. I know it sounds crazy, but don't do it. This is a no-no. This is a big no-no. You do not want to do that. You want to use call to actions on your page. And a call to action is nothing more. You're asking the person to take an action. You want to put your contact information there. You can put your logo there. So make sure that your coming soon page is functional. Don't just put coming soon, because this is an opportunity. If somebody visits your website before it's actually up, guess what? Don't miss that opportunity. They may not come back later. Just honestly, people may not come back later. So a call to action would be something like sign up for my email list, like my Facebook page, get my freebie right here and give me your email address, follow me on Instagram, something that takes an action so that you're just not wasting that space. You're not wasting that visit. Now, to use the call to action, you want to use an organized and simple flow. Very simple. Basically, the user's going to click on the button or link because you say, hey, sign up for my email list, or hey, get my freebie and give me your email address. After they enter their email address or their contact information, whatever you have set for them to do, you're going to give them what you promised, or either tell them thank you, give them a success message. It's actually that simple. Now, you can put all other types of variables into it, but the flow is very simple. The user clicks, they enter their information, you give what you said you were going to give. That's all a call to action or a CTA is. Now, as far as the email addresses go, I have on your course agenda page under the course resources section, I will be adding, or I think I've already added, how you can set up an email list with MailChimp. And MailChimp offers a free service, and I think it's up to 10,000 email addresses with the free version of their software. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what it is. It's a big number. Now, I already touched a little bit on mobile-friendly websites. You know, we like to log on and see things and view things and do things on the go. When we're sitting in the waiting room at the doctor's office, what do? We get on our phone and we do some work. We get on our phone and we look at different websites. We'll check you out just based on just having to wait or sitting somewhere. So you want to make sure that users are able to have a good experience on your website, no matter what device they're using. So whether they're using a desktop, laptop, Mac, a phone, tablet, iPad, whatever they're using, you want to make sure that they have a good experience on the website. You don't want things all cut off on the edges and everything. Maybe you've been to a website on your phone where you can't read the stuff, it's too tiny, it doesn't adjust. So that's what happens with mobile-friendly websites. That's why they call or you may have remember that I've called it a responsive website. Make sure that the theme that you choose is responsive. And what that means is it responds to whatever device is being opened on. And that means that it basically adjusts itself. Okay, now sometimes you do have to take extra steps to make sure that certain things work right. Sometimes you can turn off features or you can hide features on a cell phone versus if you're opening it on a desktop. Because some stuff you can't do like on a cell phone, like stuff where you have to right click to download. There's different things that you may not, it's not efficient for a cell phone or even sometimes a tablet. The other thing about making sure that your website is mobile friendly is that Google is going to give you a higher search ranking. Now, there are other things that are coming into place, like Google Analytics, and which I may be able to have someone to come in, a guest, and come in and talk about Google Analytics, teach us how to set that up, and also search engine optimization. There are actually tools that you can use, and we're actually going to touch on that a little bit in another lesson. So make sure that your website is responsive. That's an easy way to get a higher search ranking when you are using Google, when people are using Google. Okay, so that means that they're gonna be able to find you easier. Excuse me, I have to take a little sip of water. Okay. All right. So moving right along, powering through this. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to show you the things that we talked about. So you're going to see the dashboard, the settings, the ones that I recommend you change, and going to show you how to select a theme and install it, and install, preview, and activate it. And just going to show you how to create that coming soon page. Now, the coming soon page, we're going to share just a little bit of a topic that we are not going to cover. We're not covering it in this lesson. So we're touching on it, but we're going to cover it later, okay? Actually, I think in the next lesson. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to install WordPress. Actually, WordPress should also already be installed. I'm sorry. That's not what I'm supposed to be doing. Excuse me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and log into the back end of one of my WordPress pages. I was supposed to have done this already. So I'll go ahead and log in. So you can, what you would do is you go to your website, and I'm just going to go ahead and show you my previous website, which is designcgc.com. So you're going to go to your domain name.com or domainname.com /WP admin. And this will bring you to the login page. Okay. Now I've applied a custom login page to this. Yours is going to look like what I showed you in the lesson by default. It's just going to have the white with the blue WordPress and log in. So try to remember if I know this password. Hopefully I know it. Okay, maybe I don't. Oh, this is so. Remember I told you you have to know your stuff. You don't want to get locked out. That's the biggest thing. Don't want to get locked out of your website, because then you have to wait a few minutes. Okay, so you get to your dashboard once you get successfully logged in. See, I was showing you how not to do it first. See, I had to show you how not to do it. Don't forget your password. So once you get into your dashboard, again, like I told you, as you start to customize and add things to your website, your dashboard is going to be different. So you won't have all of these options here, but the things that I'm going to talk about, you will have. Now, when you get to your dashboard, at the top, you're going to may see some messages once you start to install different things. Some things come by default, so you will see messages up here that apply to the things that you have on your WordPress website. Now, here up in the top, you have the screen options. Based on what you click on the left, your screen options are going to change. So right here, there are options of things that you want to see and don't want to see. So let's just say this quick draft right here. I don't want to see that. I never do a quick draft, and I honestly don't. I've never done one. But this is one where you can do that. I can uncheck that box and you see it went away immediately. But you can turn it back on as you need. And if you go down to sales summary, I was just testing out just to try to set up, see what I think, whatever sales I use on here. I was testing something out. Well, I don't want to see that sales stuff on there, so I can take the sales summary off. And when I scroll down, you see it's gone. So those are the things that you can use in screen options. Screen options are available on any screen from your dashboard, okay? So the next piece that also, again, like I said, when you click on different things over here in the left table of contents, it's going to show you the content on the right-hand side, okay? And we'll be getting more into this, and of course, the dashboard is how you control the whole back end of your WordPress website. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and scroll down. And you're going to scroll all the way down until you see the settings option there. Now, I have a couple of extra ones because I have some things called plugins or mini applications that we'll be talking about later. So I have some extra settings. The one that I want you to focus on right now is just the top ones. So we're going to go to General. So when you click that, I went to settings, I hovered over general and I clicked it. You can also just click on settings and then they will expand the other options. Sub options will be available to you. I don't know why I couldn't think of that word. Now, when you set up your WordPress, when you installed your WordPress, did your WordPress installation, if you did it through your hosting provider, you can put a site title and tagline here. If it's the default stuff, which the tagline is just another WordPress site, change that. Put your tagline or a sub, like put a short statement of like take something out of your mission statement as your tagline, your slogan. That's what you want to put there. Because what happens if you don't, when people search, when people go to your website, they will see that. So it'll say just another WordPress site. And, this is just a place that you actually can use your tagline, okay? So, of course, you see mine is making you pop on paper and shine online is what I do. So the site title is not as big as, I don't say it's not as big a deal, but you do want to put your site name. So whatever your business is if it's XYZ Corp, put XYZ Corp there. Whatever your brand name is, that's what you want to put there. If my brand name was Erica T. Neal, I will put Erica T. Neal online or Erica T. Neal, whatever, there for the site title, because that's also going to show up when people search for you, it's going to show up in your search results. Now, as far as the WordPress address and the site address, what happens is if you installed WordPress on a subdirectory, then you can actually put the site address as that subdirectory. What that means is even though people type in designcgc.com, if I've installed and I have it as a blog, I can actually make it, when they type in designcgc.com, it will actually go to designcgc.com/blog. But I don't make them type that in. So you can do that. You can actually have like subdirectories if you want to do that. So of course I don't have that, so I'm gonna leave it be. The email address, what you want to do is by default, it's this long thing that is connected into your WordPress website. Change it to your email address that you want to get WordPress notifications on. That's what you will put there. So of course I changed mine to erica@designcgc.com. So the rest of the stuff you pretty much can keep the same. I like to make sure my date format is the way I like it. So that's something you can customize. And that's going to come into play when we start creating pages, and your time format as well, and what day your week starts on. I think it's Monday by default. I changed mine to Sunday. Okay. My first day of the week is Sunday. It's a preference thing, more or less. People will, I don't think anybody will not buy from you if you have Monday listed as your first day of the week. Okay. Give me a moment to grab some water. Okay, so if you make any changes in here, sure you go down to the bottom and click Save Changes. If you do not, you will get a message. If you try to click on something else, it'll tell you, hey, I think it tells you made some changes, but make sure you just go ahead and click Save. So this part right here is your settings. Once we get into more creating our website, we will be coming back into here and making some changes. Now, this right here, I do kind of like this. You can do a post via email. So if you want to create a specialized page, you can actually send it via email, okay? So we'll get more into that a little bit later. The other one that you will be changing today is your reading tab. Now, if you are creating a website that is a blog only, you want to make sure your homepage displays the latest post. Okay, so if you have a blog, that's what you want to leave it set at. If not, you are going to change your page to a static page, your home page to display a static page. For the most part, we always call it home. Some people you can rename it welcome or front page, whatever you want to name it. But for us, we're just going to keep it our home page. Now, if you have a website, a full website, and then you also have a blog as part of that website, your post page is actually, that's where this post page option is going to come into play. So you can if you called it blog or whatever, you can actually you select that there. And I think I do actually have a blog, but I don't know why I don't have it turned on here. So again, here, if you have a blog, it's going to be the different items here. We will talk about blogs in a future lesson in a little bit more detail, but I just wanted to show you that right here, you're going to make sure your home page displays the static page and select your home page. If you're doing a full website, if you are only doing a blog, you're going to just click your latest post. All right. The last part that I want to talk to you about is the permalinks. Actually, there's one other one. Is your permalinks here. Your permalinks is going to determine what people see up here in the URL when they click on different pages. Okay, so I think by default it's just your website name, and then it gives it like a numeric value, like a P equals numeric value. You can do different like days and names in it. So for me, what I like to do is just put it as the category in the post name. What that means is if I put a category like featured or blog post, and then whatever the name of it is. So it makes it easier for you when you're looking for stuff, when you're building, when you're creating. And also it makes more sense when people are looking at the links. Like if I do a blog post and I share that link, it's going to make more sense if they see that in the actual URL. Okay. The last part that I wanted to tell you about is your privacy. Well, your website privacy. So the privacy policy page, this is actually something that that I recommend adding to your page. This is more for if you're doing sales in Europe, because by law you have to have that privacy policy. However, there are some rules in place for international, when you get into the international market, where you do need to have that privacy policy. Basically, you want to have something that says, hey, I'm collecting information about you, and even if you don't realize that your website may capture some information, you're saying, hey, I'm capturing information, but I'm not sharing it or selling it. But I might use your information. Your information may be used, for these reasons only. But it has to do with business, the business that you came for. Okay, so you definitely want to make sure that you put a privacy policy into place. You can do something simple for the time being. If you have an attorney, you can get your attorney to draw it up. Okay, excuse me. We will be talking about the privacy page in another lesson, okay? Just a little bit more. So that's basically your settings. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to show you how you create a coming soon page. Again, right now, if I did a new WordPress installation, I would just have this really like blah page that just says, hey, somebody's going to create something great here. And it's like, yeah, no, I don't want people to go to my website and see just that. So what I'm going to do is actually go to what's called the plugins. So on the left-hand side, you want to click on plugins, and we're going to do what's called install a plugin. And again, like I told you, we will be going over plugins more, not in this lesson though, but this is just a little tidbit. So I already have a coming soon page or plugin here, but what we're going to do is we're going to install another one. You don't need another one, you only need one. I just want to show you the steps of how you do it. Okay, so all you do is, when you click on plugins, you're going to see add new at the top. See, I was getting ready to teach you all about plugins. That's how my brain works. I just love teaching. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and go into where it says search plugins right by the keyword. And you're going to put in coming soon. Now, the one that we're going to use is this one, the Cmp coming soon and maintenance plugin by Nidio Themes. I don't know how to really pronounce it. But this is the one that we're going to use. So all you got to do right here is click install now. And once you install it, it's just going to take a few moments. You're going to actually activate it. Excuse me. Again, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves because we haven't talked about plugins yet. But if you follow the steps, you're going to be able to do this. And I always do a coming soon page when I'm creating a website for myself or for a client, because you don't want that out there, your domain name out there, and people may happen to come upon it and it just says coming soon. You actually want something there so that you can take some action. So once it's done installing, the activate button will be shown there, because you see on all the other ones it just says install now. You're going to click activate. So once you click activate, you're going to be redirected to your plugins page. And what I'm going to do is you got to go ahead and find that plugin. You see it's there. Okay. And it's up to date. What you're going to do now, what you'll see now is that over on your left-hand side, your table of contents, you're going to see Cmp Settings, which is your coming soon maintenance page. So when you click that, you're going to see different options there. So right now it's disabled because when you enable it, that means that this is going to show rather than any other thing that you have created on your website. Okay. So there's also other options as far as the maintenance mode and redirect mode. And right now we don't need those. We're just going to do the coming soon. Okay. So if you do make a change, make sure you click Save All Changes. Okay. So with this one right here, which is like most of them, most of the really good ones, you have a few, maybe 1 to maybe 5 options that you can use for your theme, for your setup. Now, this one I like because you can actually take a preview of what it looks like. So it puts your site name and it just has a little blurb there. Okay. The construct, you can click preview again and see it. Okay. Pretty cool. Or if you know when your site is going to launch, you can actually put a countdown on there. Okay. But as you can see, this has a call to action there. That's what I really love about that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this one right here. Okay. And you click select. I'm going to save all changes. Excuse me. Okay, so once that's done, you can actually take a preview, look at a preview of what it looks like. So right now, it's just the basic little placeholders that they have there. Call to action is there, but it's not set up yet, so we don't want to go with that. So you just, I just close that tab and then go back to content. So you can leave it as your text logo. So you can, so what happens is you can actually, whatever your site's name is there by default. Remember I told you in the settings, that's what you did. So if I wanted to change this to Design Diva Studios, I could, okay? Or you can use a graphic logo, or you can just turn it off. Now, since I do have a logo, I'm just gonna go to my graphic logo and I'm gonna select my logo. And what you would do is you would upload files, you would select your files, and you would go to your course page, okay? I mean, sorry, your course folder, and select your logo. Remember? See, I told you that was going to come in handy. Now, I already have mine uploaded, so I'm just going to go ahead and choose one that's here already. Okay, so my logo is there. And then here is the content area. So okay. And I'm just putting some calls to action, some information there, so it's not just like blah. Okay. And here I'm gonna put my Facebook address. So you can actually copy your Facebook URL and edit there. But your Facebook is just going to be your facebook.com/ your user ID. So in this case, it would be Design CGC. Okay. And then you can do other things. Remember, I told you if you can use Microsoft Word, you can do this. I don't want to get too much into this thing, but we can make it a heading to see how that got bigger automatically. It's kind of shows you the way that you can see things. And then I can highlight all this and make it centered. Okay. Now this is something you can play with and get it the way that you like it. I'm not going to tell you exactly how to do it. You don't have to do it exactly like this, but you put whatever text you want there and make it big. You can add headers, whatever. You can make it bold. Okay. So this is just the icons are similar to Microsoft Word. All right. So what they have right now is the default media. They just have this like here. It's like, yeah, okay, no, that's not what I want. You can actually add your custom images there. So you can upload an image. Remember, you can go to your course folder, click upload files, and go to your source folder or your course folder, and you can select your files. One of those nice royalty-free images that you downloaded. Okay, and I'm just going to go in here and click one. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, I'm just going to use Design Diva Studios. Doesn't matter really. So you can use any item here. Actually, I'm going to choose a picture because it's going to show up better. Do I have any pictures? Yeah. By default. Oh, here. Okay, here's some default pictures they had in there already. Okay. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like now. I'm going to go ahead and click Save All Changes. Okay, and once it refreshes, I can preview it. And now you'll see that my logo that I added is there. Oh, my image didn't load. Okay, my image did not load. Not sure why. But it tells me that I've arrived in an awesome place. Welcome to my website. Here's the join me on Facebook there, which is really cool. As you can see, it's not clickable yet. I need to make it clickable. So I'm going to close that window and go back to my content here. And you arrived in an awesome place. Join me on Facebook. To make this clickable, again, getting ahead of ourselves, but you're going to just insert edit link here. And once you do that, just hit that arrow there. Anytime you are going to a website outside, you want to click that little cog, the little settings cog, and you want to click open and link in a new tab. If it's going to another page on your website, you don't have to do that. But if it's going outside of your website, you want to do that. Okay. So that's why I clicked open in a new tab. All right. So all I did was click this insert edit link. It put the link there. When you go into this little cog right here, I actually put the URL there. That's where the URL goes, okay? Or the web address that you want. When people click, that's the web address that they go to, okay? Now let's see my meter. Okay, it didn't come up. So custom images. Okay, so let's go back down and grab that image. Insert image. Okay. So now let's try to save it again and see if it works. All right. So click preview. And there we are. Okay, the image is there. And I really like the way that kind of moves. It's like pretty cool. So you can do something with this and really make this pop. You can do a banner and put it here so that people can see some of the things you offer. Or just be really creative with it. All right. So I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of this part. This is your subscribe form. If you have, by default, it's going to be the subscribe form that comes with this plugin. But if you have something like MailChimp set up, you can actually go ahead and you can get what's called a short code for MailChimp and add it into here. So once you get MailChimp set up, I need to do a little, I need to do a video on MailChimp, how to set up MailChimp. I've shown you how to do MailChimp or to set up MailChimp, but I need to show you how to do the WordPress setup side of it. So yeah, I'll do that for you. Let me write it down. MailChimp. Okay. For the time being though, you can leave it as a CMP subscriber form. If you do that, what happens is it's going to actually store the email addresses and you can actually transfer them to MailChimp or whatever email subscriber that you use later. Okay. Again, you want to add your social media. Okay. So I put the Facebook up there. I just showed you how you can add a custom link in that content area up there, but you can also come here and add Facebook. Okay. All right. And you can add, do I say all your Instagram, whatever. They have the different ones here that you can add, and you just make sure you put your website there, because by default it's just going to show whatever. So if I put Instagram on there, it just says profile. That's not going to take people to my Instagram account. So I'm going to save all changes. Okay. And basically what I'm doing is just going through showing you that there are different options that you can utilize. The next part is just going to the customize. Now the active color they have there is orange. I don't want it to be orange. I don't want it to be orange anymore. I'm gonna just make it purple. Okay. Then that's for anything that's active. The font color, I'm gonna make it black instead of that gray. Background color, I'm gonna leave as white. Social background color, you can make it whatever color you would like. Okay, I'm just playing around with color so you can see the difference. And I'm gonna I can save all the changes now, or I can continue on. Here you can actually adjust what fonts are used, even from the font family to the font sizes that are used for your headings and for your actual the content part that is not a heading. So if you choose something different, when you hover over it, you can get a preview of how it will look. Okay. So if you want it to look regular, you can change it there or just make it back bold. Here again, the font size, you can just slide it down to make it smaller, or slide to the right to make it bigger. Okay. And then for your content font, that's where your headings. For your content font, you can actually change that as well. Okay. Okay. All right, so it gives you a preview of what things are going to look like. If you want a custom font, you can actually upload a font as well. So I'm going to click Save All Changes and show you what the preview looks like again. And here we are again. The color has now changed to purple. Ooh, and that social media background is ooh, this is oh, bad for my eyes. Ooh, I definitely got to change that. So, but just showing you that you can make those changes. Once we get into search engine optimization, this is where you're going to get that higher Google ranking, okay, and the Google Analytics if you have that, okay. Not getting into that in this lesson. No. Custom CSS we will cover later as well. And then that's just a preview. Now, I also want to just show you really quick how you can do the content. How you can do content for the a different type of content. You can put a video in your content. So where is it? Okay. So instead of it being a custom image, you can actually add a video. So actually, I looked up some videos. Let's see. On YouTube, and the way that I did it, let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and go to. Let me go to the. I'm gonna show you the course agenda. This is a preview of how you use the course resources. So on your course agenda, you're gonna go ahead and scroll down to. These are a lot of the resources. This is where the resources are, or will, and I will be adding more as we go along. So under the images, photos, videos section, I already had it expanded because I was playing with it earlier. You're going to scroll down and you can click on free stock videos on YouTube. So whichever one you want to use here, you just click on it. It will open in a new window. So these are some videos that you can use for free, and they are there for you on YouTube. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scroll down, and this one looks pretty cool. Actually, there was one that I liked. Okay, I can't. Of course, I can't find it right now. Right? Oh wait. It's a little bit further down. I think. Okay, I don't see it. Okay, so I'm just gonna pick one right now. Just gonna pick this architecture one. So when I click it, I can click the share button. Actually, let's see. The share button there. And I'm gonna copy the link. Okay, once I copy the link, I can go back to how basic setup, and I'm going to just enter the URL there. You'll see a preview of it. Okay, and then you save all changes, and we'll go back to preview, and you'll see that now the video clip is there. So listen, this is your coming soon page. Do you think people will not be impressed and want to come back to your website? Do you think they're not going to want to see your website when they see this coming soon page? Hold on, let me stop this over here. Okay, that was playing music all in my ears. I did not ask for that. So this is the coming soon page. Yes, look. All you did was change the setting. So definitely use this coming soon. So again, just to recap, to do the coming soon, you're gonna install that plugin. Okay, by Nitio Themes, and I think I put the link in your I think I put the instruction in your assignment. You're going to find that plugin, you're going to install it, you're going to activate it, and then you're just going to come in here and customize your settings, okay? Just add all of your settings and get it the way you like it. Your coming soon page will then be active. So I'm just going to show you, once you get it the way you like it, you can go and come in here and you're going to click enabled. So right now, just going to click to my other browser here. If I go to designcgc.com, takes a moment, you're going to see my full website, right? And I have to go to a different browser because I'm logged in, so you won't see it if I don't go to a different browser. Now, if I go back over here and I enable the coming soon mode and click save all changes, then you go to my website now. I'm just going to click refresh here. That's now people can't see all my under construction pages. They can come here and see different things. They can put their email address because this is an awesome coming soon page. They can connect with me on social media if they can take the way that looks. See, they'll be taken to my Facebook page. Boom, done. So this right here is a very awesome tool that you can use, and I'm going to disable this because I want people to be able to go to my website. This is an awesome tool that you can use. Now, the last thing that I'm going to show you before we're done is themes. So when you go over to your left-hand side, under appearance, there is the theme option. Again, you can click it and then it'll show up underneath over here, or you can just hover over it and click themes. So right now, what happens is it's going to show you which theme is active. And right now mine is called Divi. You won't have all these themes when you do your initial installation. I think you're just going to have 2019. I think they probably go back to like 2014 or something. I don't know. But you have all these default ones, and whichever one you set up when you do your WordPress wizard, your WordPress setup wizard. All right. So I'm just going to show you how you can add a new theme, because by default, normally the ones they give you by default, they say they aren't the best, but it's like, okay, yeah, whatever. So to add a new theme, you can, and I'm going to show you how to do it just from the ones that are available from your WordPress dashboard. You're just going to click the add new button at the top there. And then it gives you a preview of what some different themes look like. Okay. So you can say, okay, again, what you want to look at more is the structure rather than the pictures, because you're not going to use those same images, but you can pick some very good images like the stock photos that you downloaded and make it look really robust and really good. So let's just say you can click on popular and see what other people are using. You're like, okay, this is what other people are using. Very cool. Okay. The latest ones that have come out, and then if you save any as favorites, you can also do that too. Okay. Now, if you can go to the feature filter, so if you want to do a blog, you can do it by subject, which features it has, and if you want to do it by the layout. So you can check as many filters as you want and click apply filters, and whatever matches will those themes will come up. And a theme is just basically like a template. I was about to say template. So what I'm going to do is, I already know one that I really love to use. Okay, so let's just take a look at this one, which is called Customize. Customize or Customizer. I like both of those, just FYI. So what I'm going to do is right now is you can take a preview of it. And the preview really just kind of shows you real basic. It doesn't, as far as preview goes, if you haven't installed it, it doesn't give you a really good idea of what it's going to look like in real life. Now, of course, mine is going to show a little bit more because I actually have content in my on my website, but I'm just going to show you. All you got to do now is click install. Okay. Once you install it, installing it does not make it active on your website. Okay. So all you got to do now is once it's installed, it gives you that little little confirmation there, and you're going to click. Now you can click live preview. So before it just said preview, but now I can click a live preview. I can actually see what it looks like. So when I click there, this is again not active yet. It just kind of shows me a little bit. And I go, okay. I say, okay, this is pretty cool. And of course, remember when you switch themes, this is why you do the theme before you do the content. Because remember, I've spent time and got my content the way I want it. But now everything is all laid out different. So what I would have to do now is just go back and customize all this stuff again. So that's why you want to select the theme that you like before you do like a couple of hours of customizing everything. All right. So I can even look at my different pages and see the way they look. Now for you, you won't have all this information, but you get a good idea of what things look like. Now, if I install this and I decide, oh my gosh, I absolutely hate this, all I have to do is click this X over here. But if I do like it, I'll just click activate and publish, and then I can go through and make customizations to it. So the other thing is that you can see what options are available to you as far as this theme goes. Every theme is going to have different options here. Now, this is why I like Customize and Customizer. They have the Nimble Builder, which would, I'll touch on it a little bit later and write it down so I don't forget. I like to, when I see stuff, I like to touch on it. And it has a lot of different options. Some themes only have a few options. So what I'm going to do is, I don't really love this theme, so I'm just going to click the X here. And what happens is, when I go back to my themes, my active theme is still Divi. Now, Customize is there and installed, so I can switch to that anytime I want to, but I don't really like it, so I'm going to click on Theme Details, and I'm going to delete the theme because I don't want to use it. I don't want to use it. And I'm just going to click OK to confirm that I don't want that one anymore. Now, if I decide that I do want to try to play around with it later, I can come back and install it just by clicking Add New and searching for it and adding it there. So that's the basic way that you're going to do a theme and going in to customize your theme. So your task assignment is going to be today. Let's go back over to the lesson. You are actually going to be selecting a theme. You're going to be finding a theme. Again, that's probably going to be the most difficult thing you do, is to select a theme that you like. Once you do that, you'll install it and activate it. Okay, and I think that's what I was talking about.